Hi, my name's Rebecca. Today I'm going to teach you how to make a pentagon ball. It's a great little soft ball for baby, for toddler. I've even given these to a youth group in a great big bag, and they used to pelt them around the room, and because they're soft, they didn't hurt. So it was a great, any age, just vary the colours for the older ones. Okay, so here we go. What you need is 6 pentagons. A pentagon being a 5-sided shape that we learnt all about in primary school. Okay, you need 1 for your center and 5 for around the edge. You actually need 2 lots of these to make your pentagon. Okay, no, 2 lots to make your ball. Okay, I'll show you how to put this together. So first of all, you take your center and one of your sides. Line up your 2 edges of your pentagon. That's what we're going to sew. I'm using an overlocker today, and I'm using stretch fabrics. All these fabrics are left over from making children's clothes, so all children's colours. Okay, so that's what we get, the 2 pentagons sewn together. We're going to now proceed all the way around, sewing a pentagon to each side of that centre. Remembering right sides together, often with polar fleece, you don't need to worry. What you do need to think about is pulling the side that's already on, moving that out of the way when you put it in the overlocker. You only want to sew this side onto there. Moving on to the next one, lining it up with the next side of your pentagon. Oh, stop putting it in first. Moving around. Last one, fill that last hole. On this one you'll need to remember to move the one at the beginning out of the way and the one at the end. We only want to sew those 2 together. If you catch a little bit, don't be concerned, it's alright, you'll get it in the next section. Okay, so that's what we end up with. The center pentagon that has all 5 pentagons attached to it. Now we're going to go and we're going to sew up the seam between all the pentagons. So placing the 2 side pentagons together, moving that center pentagon out of the way, we're going to sew from the center pentagon out to the edge. Lift your foot of your overlocker and place it right up near your needles. Your overlocker doesn't have to work too hard to get the fabric under there because it can be quite thick. Once again, just go around each side. We'll get this done quickly. If you're using polar fleece or tracksuit fabric, please make sure you use a size 14 needle. All other lighter fabrics can go with a 12. One last one. Okay, so having sewn all my sides together, I then end up with a bowl, the one in the center and the 5 around the outside. Okay, but as I said, we need 2 to make a ball. So I have 2 halves. To make the ball, it's a matter of sewing one half to the other half. The secret and the trick is to remember which way to do it. You need to make sure that you sew the mountain, peak of the mountain, into the low valley. If you try and just match them up, you will end up with something that is really weird. Okay, so with your peak of your mountain, take your peak and put it into the seam of your valley. So that's how you line up your first one. Once you've got your first one lined up, every other one will be easy and you won't need to think about it again. So a peak to a valley seam. All we want to do is sew each section one at a time. Don't try and go all the way around. It makes a mess. So each section one at a time, moving the bit that you don't want to sew out of the way, and the same on the other end. I like making this out of fleeces and stretch fabrics because apart from the fact that they're soft, they are also very flexible, stretchy, so you can move them and pull them and stretch them to fit, and make sure that they are going to fit. And then when you stuff them, any slight imperfections are all hidden in the stuffing. Making sure that you're lining them up. I'm making 4 of these balls for my little grandniece this weekend. So birthday, second birthday. I'm making 4. I'm going to buy a full noodle, cut it in half so it's a bit shorter, and then put that with it. So that's a set of bats and 4 balls that she can play with and hit around the yard, or we used to always play duster hockey. When she gets to primary school, she may play duster hockey with her class. But those bat and ball skills, that's something that isn't going to break. Or break anything. If they're thrown at each other, they're soft. They're not going to hurt anybody. If you want to make them for a younger child, a baby, you could get bells or a small little camera container with rice and put some rice in it. The old photo container, put rice in it and pop that inside, or something small that you can put something that rattles to make it a rattle as well. Okay, so we've sewn them all together to have one last hole. That's in our stuffing hole. We have a very ugly ball at the moment, but we turn it in. All those tails, you don't need to cut them off. They're all hidden inside. Okay, there's our ball. There's our stuffing hole. Stuff that with stuffing. If you want to put a bell or a sound or anything in, put that in the center with the stuffing around the outside so it doesn't clonk anybody on the head. And then just hand sew it up. So there's our finished. All stuffed, all finished. Lovely and soft, squishy, soft to touch. Even got, if you cut your pentagons out carefully, you can even have it as as a ice fireball. So I wasn't quite as careful on some of them, and some of these are just really leftovers. Then we've got a flower and a girl and teddy bears. Okay, thanks for watching.